Everybody in America should be a business owner. However, not everybody should be in the business of starting a company, and not everybody should be in the business of operating a company. So what does that mean? Well, you can be a worker and an owner, right? This concept of equity, you have to understand this, because wealthy people are working for equity. They're not just working for a salary. And so what you want to do now is you want to understand, okay, I'm working every day to get paid. Now, what are you doing with the salary? Either you can take the salary and go out and spend all of it, or you can take some of the salary now and work to build equity. Maybe that's in stocks. Maybe that's in real estate. Maybe that's in your own company.
So if I buy stocks, I'm buying equity.
You're building equity. You're literally buying ownership in companies. If you go out and buy a share of, say, McDonald's, you become one of the owners of the McDonald's company. And now when the McDonald's valuation goes up, you get to share in that because the price of your stock, the value of your stock goes up. I like to call it net zero thinking, where if I have cash, I need to spend it. I have $500 in my bank account, I gotta make that zero. If I have $1,000, I gotta spend it, because we think, oh my God, if I had 10 grand, I would go on this nice vacation. If I had 50 grand, I would buy this car. We think in terms of, it's that consumer mindset of, if I have this money, I need to spend it. But this is where we have to break out of that and understand, what can we do differently? And instead of just spending all of this money, and it's much more difficult now because of the higher cost of living, but it's so much more important now than ever, where you got to create this margin. I call it like an equation where, your wealth is really, you take your income minus your expenses, and that's equal to your investments plus your savings. So you take your income, whatever money you make, you subtract your expenses, your houses, your home, your clothes, your car, whatever your expenses are. And if you have some money left, either this money is going to be saved or it's going to be invested. Well, if you have some money left, you're already, doing something that a lot of people are not doing. You're more than the majority of people. Right now, I just read a study yesterday. 7 out of 10 Americans across the board are living paycheck to paycheck. 50% of Americans that are making $250,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck.
That's crazy.
It's not how much money you make. It's what you do with the money you make that is so important. And so now, if you have a buffer, you're already better than the majority of people. Now the question is, what do you do with it? Well, we're taught, save it. Save all of it. So your investments are zero, and your savings, you're trying to grow that, thinking that you're gonna become wealthy. But you're never gonna be able to outsave inflation. Your savings are literally what I like to say is, there are 3 reasons why you should be saving money. You save money for an emergency, have somewhere between 3 to 12 months worth of expenses, depending on your risk tolerance. Save money for a big purchase. You wanna buy a car, you wanna buy a house, you need some cash to do that. Save money for an investment. If you're not saving money for one of these 3 reasons, you are saving your money the wrong way, and it's making you poorer each and every day.
Now, you didn't say save for retirement.
You invest for retirement. You talk about retirement, we're about to face a big retirement crisis, because traditionally retirement was what people like to call a 3-legged stool. You had your Social Security, you had your pension, and then you had your own investments or your savings, what a lot of people like to do. Well, pensions are something you only read in history books anymore. They're a thing of the past. So those don't exist anymore. Social Security is running into a very, very, very big dilemma, because right now, if you are, under the age of 45, the Social Security money that you're paying isn't going to go to fund your Social Security income. It's going to fund somebody else to retire, because the Social Security program has much bigger expenses that is not going to be able to fund your retirement, which leaves people with a 3rd stool, which is your own investments. Now, traditionally, you say, I'll save some money, save 10% of your income. That's not going to do it. Your savings are going to make you poorer each and every day. And the second thing is your 401k. And it's a great start for the average investor, because now it is like automatic putting a little bit of money into some investments. However, your 401k was never, ever, ever intended to be your sole investment plan. The founder of the 401k even came out and said that the 401k has gone awry. It is a monster, because now so many people are hoping that they're going to be able to rely on the 401k to retire. And that's not what it's intended for, and it will never be able to be enough for you. And so a lot of people have this false hope that, okay, yeah, whatever, Social Security will give me a little bit extra, but my 401k will take care of me, but that was never the plan. And so now what does that mean? Your 401k, just think of that like as, if you invest in your 401k, your IRA, that is the absolute base. Your savings are not going to do it. This is where you have to go out and invest yourself. And that's where, oh my God, how do I do that? We're never taught how to do this. We're never told how to do this. We're never given direction on how to do this. So you have to be the one now to go out of your way to start learning this. And thank God for YouTube, because now we've decentralized education. But the question is now, you have to be willing to do it, and you have to understand who your teachers are, because there's crap on YouTube. There's also good stuff on YouTube. And we're never taught how to learn. We're usually just taught what to learn. So now we have to be willing and go out of our way to become smarter to one, start learning and understand how do we learn the right things and then apply it. Because the downfall with investing is it's risky. You got to be willing to get punched in the face. You have to be willing to lose money because it's a part of the process, and it sucks. It sucks losing money. I made a video on my YouTube channel, Minority Mindset, where I went over my worst real estate deal ever. And the reason why I made it is so you can see, look, every real estate investor has got at least one bad deal. And to date, that's the only deal that I've ever lost money on. And I'll walk you through every single bad thing because everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, plus a whole lot more. And it was one of the biggest headaches of my life. But my goal is, yeah, you can laugh at me, make fun of me, but you're going to see like, holy cow, things can and will go wrong. So just anticipate it, because it's a real life tuition. You got to be willing to learn. Just like with entrepreneurship, everybody wants to be successful as an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to be rich. How many people are going to be willing to get punched in the throat and keep going, keep getting back up and keep doing it? It's very difficult, which is why, not everybody should be an entrepreneur. Try it, but it's not for everybody. But everybody can work to own this equity, right? This ownership, these assets, and everybody needs to. People's actions speak louder than the words. Because if that's true, you should not have a Gucci belt if you don't have that same amount of money in the market. You should not own a BMW if you do not own any investment portfolio, right? I mean, it's just a matter of looking at what you do. Does it match with what you actually want? If you want to become wealthy, question answers yes. Okay, what are you willing to sacrifice? You have a BMW in the driveway, you got the Gucci belt, you have the Louis Vuitton. If you have this nice stuff, but you don't have the nice assets, your priorities are in the wrong place. And this is just a matter of you looking at yourself in the mirror and being honest with yourself and understanding what you want. And for a lot of people, maybe this is a matter of financial education, maybe this is a matter of preference, but many people would rather look rich than be rich. If you just look at, what it is. Now, if you dive a little bit deeper, other people that want to actually be rich, we want to be rich today. We want to be rich tomorrow, not be rich in 5-10 years. And so what does that do? It then drives your actions. So it's very difficult now to understand that, hey, I'm willing to sacrifice not only the nice stuff today, but then also not do the attractive, the sexy, the things that are hot, that are making people so much money today, because I believe in this long-term investment that has been time tested, because it's so boring. But the reality is that boring is where the real wealth is built.
Facts. I always tell people, boredom kills more entrepreneurs, kills more dreams than fear or failure. It's the daily grind. Like to your point about watching candles, when crypto was really popping off, I had to stop myself from watching it because it was so fun and so exciting. And I was like, you can't spend time there, because I'm not going to want to watch it when it's down. Yeah. So it's like, you want a system, you want to set it, you want to forget it. Yeah. And if I could get people to understand the psychology of how money impacts you, like, oh my God, to your point about people would rather look rich than actually be rich. When you think about what money really does for you, you have to understand peak emotion. There's only so much emotional amplitude that you can have. In fact, do you have an image in your mind of the highest emotional amplitude moment of your life?
As where I felt the most emotion?
The highest positive emotion you've ever felt.
Positive emotion?
Yeah,
that's a tough
positive for sure.
It's funny. My wife used to get really upset at me because I never showed emotion. And she was like, what's wrong with you? Like, you never get excited, you never sad. I'm like, look, the only real emotion that I feel is hunger. I think, the happiest is really, for me, being around my family and the people closest to me and just laughing.
Yes.
That is my favorite thing in the world. Like, what do I want? I literally want my friends and my family in one room and us just joking around, because we make fun of each other. And it's not in a mean way. It's just our personalities can be laugh and have fun. That is, if I could think of my favorite thing to do, it would be that. Maybe if you want to take it one step further, maybe do it on the beach. But it's honestly, it doesn't matter where we are. If we're in my basement eating some pizza, some Indian food, and just laughing.
Yes.